20 points and 8 rebounds. He's at center court. Hokies in the white, 1-0 on the season. USC Upstate 1-1 after playing Monday and Wednesday, and we are underway with the Hokies containing possession.
Both teams like to play man-to-man. Both teams like to play fast.
Rechsteiner pops. He's got it.
Really improved as a shooter. He's always been a good shooter. The coaches think he can get to the next level with that shot.
Carmelo Atkins getting the start for USC Upstate. No Kanye Jones. He injured his knee in the final 45 seconds against Piedmont on Wednesday.
Yeah, very first play. Upstate loves to spread you, get the 4, 5 wide, leave the middle open for those back cuts like that.
Jaden Shute getting the start for Virginia Tech again, the transfer from Duke. And a turnover brings the ball over to the Spartans. There's Mr. Dean, maybe one of the best names in college basketball. And a deck, or Chico Johnson hitting the deck. It'll be a charge that gives the ball right back to the Hokies.
Chico Johnson, the Drake transfer, came with Coach Richter.
Mike Young looking on for Virginia Tech in his 6th season as the head coach of the Hokies. 5-time Conference Coach of the Year, 1-time ACC Coach of the Year. Won the ACC tournament in that memorable run in Brooklyn back in 2022. Mylyjael Poteat looks like he's bleeding. And as they get him fixed up, that's a good time to focus on Poteat, Mac. You talk about an interesting guy, you can focus on Lowell. Mylyjael Poteat looks better here in 2024-2025.
Well, he's in great shape, and I say this unequivocally. He's the most important player on the floor. He is a true post player. The offense will kind of revolve around him. He'll anchor the defense, and I think he can be up to the task in the best shape of his whole career.
Briefly went into the transfer portal for just a few days last year, decided to return to Virginia Tech. Now Lowell has it for the Hokies. Rechsteiner going to be the point guard for Virginia Tech. Bounce into Poteat.
Like we mentioned, Rechsteiner trying to get to that next level of point guard play.
This 15-footer, and it's pulled down by Halterhoff. Wearing a new number tonight. He's in the official roster as 22 and wearing 10 tonight for the Spartans. Whoa, the dunk! Mr. Dean skyrocketing to the rim and ripping it down.
This is an exciting freshman. Averaging 19.5 in those first 2 games. Really aggressive on the offensive end.
Yeah, see those young players for USC Upstate. Mr. Dean leading the way, him, Carmelo Atkins, as well as Nick Book. Rechsteiner, a little too short, and it's pulled down by Atkins.
Freshmen are more ready to play than ever. Experienced, the strength and conditioning that's available to them, the coaching that's available to them.
Take another look at this dunk for the freshman from Miami, Florida.
Mr. Dean on the foul, a really good offensive rebounder. No better example than right there through all the contact and traffic.
See if the Hokies can answer. Lone shot was from Brandon Rechsteiner. He's already taken a couple so far here. Goes under the hoop and lost the ball. Monty Gregory thought about the 3. Instead, it'll be Chico Johnson. Gregory gets the rebound. Second chance, Trey falls.
Yeah, transition defense is going to be big. The Hokies were mixed up that time. That led to an offensive rebound, and Gregory with a wide open shot.
Well, the storyline for Virginia Tech on Monday, so many of these new players, can they build chemistry? You might see some lapses in that early on as another 3 rattles out for Virginia Tech. Mr. Dean with a step.
Aggressive is the right word. He's always attacking, whether it's on the offensive glass or off the dribble or in transition.
Rechsteiner. I think he's a bit cold from 3-point land, now 0 for 3.
The other thing you're going to see out of Upstate is they're going to put the ball on the floor a lot and play downhill.
Alterhoff lost the ball, backcourt violation, and Virginia Tech gets it back.
Checking in for Upstate, number 3.
Looking on Marty Richter, first season as the head coach for USC Upstate. Spent 6 seasons at Drake. Went with the Bulldogs to 3 NCAA tournaments. Went the last 2 seasons. He's coached under Dan Dockich at Bowling Green, also Andy Enfield at Florida Gulf Coast, who's now the coach at SMU in the ACC.
Been around some really good coaches. Joe Dooley. Been around a lot of good basketball coaches. Loved his high energy practice today.
A lot of energy so far for both of these teams, just not a lot of baskets. Here comes Shoot. Dribbles in, stripped to the ball. Wrestling match for it, and a tie-up. That's going to point the way of USC Upstate. Spartans enjoying a lead early, Mac.
Yeah, thanks partly to Carmani Gregory, the point guard out of Florida Southwestern.
That's right. Coach Ricker was hired back in April of this year to lead this USC Upstate Spartans team. Maybe the most impressive thing about him is that his ability to build his program from scratch. Upstate's team returns as the 6th fewest returning minutes out of 360 Division I men's basketball teams. So no doubt Coach Ricker had to pull some talent from different places. Luckily, he comes with lots of experience at the JUCO level and most recently at Drake. He led the Bulldogs to 3 NCAA postseason appearances, and there's no question that's exactly where he's looking to take this Upstate team. Guys.
Yeah, thanks, Kendall. His team looking good so far, but a turnover right out of the media timeout that gives the ball back to the Hokies.
Yeah, both teams turning the ball over. The Hokies have turned it over 3 times and only made 1 field goal in 6 attempts.
Ben Burnham on the floor now for the Hokies, the transfer from Charleston. A name that got Virginia Tech fans pretty excited, averaging double figures last year for the Cougars on their way to the NCAA tournament. Here's Shoot. Burnham corrals a rebound.
Burnham plays really hard. I had him several times last year on TV, and this guy really gives great effort. This could be a good game for him, an up and down kind of game.
Kicked away, a bounce pass across the timeline. Here comes Gregory. Backdoor cut, and USC Upstate cooking with a layup from Carmelo Atkins.
Couple backdoor cuts, that's what we talked about in the open. Spread the middle, keep the middle open, spread the floor, and cut back with a wide open shot.
Poteat trying to dribble in, he's blocked, no foul. And that ball will go to the Spartans.
Mr. Dean has shown a little aggression on both ends of the floor. Nice block right there.
For Virginia Tech, Hokies hit their first shot, but then have missed their last 7 field goal attempts. Now a 9-0 run for the Spartans. 3 on the way. Atkins hits the 3 with the foul.
That's what Carmelo Atkins does. A really good 3-point shooter. He's into the lineup tonight because of an injury to Kanye Jones in the NC State game.
So Atkins, the freshman from Lubbock, Texas, bottoms out a corner 3, and it's a 12-0 run and a free throw away from making it a 13-0 run.
Late on the closeout and breaks the Cardinal rule, never foul the jump shooter.
Oh, Jaden Shoot not excited about that whistle. That's not blown in his favor. Shoot got into foul trouble early a few nights ago against Delaware State as well. Atkins completes the 4-point play, 13-2 Spartans.
Yeah, Shoot's a big part of this offense. Was 3 for 6 from long range, but like you mentioned, didn't get to play but just over 20 minutes because of foul trouble.
Wessler now on the floor for the Hokies, as is Tyler Johnson, another one of those new faces. Jaden Young, and the drought continues for Virginia Tech.
Got contested shot right there, hand in his face. Pretty good look.
As the Spartans number 5, Mr. Dean, that's his first.
That foul goes on Dean.
Second team foul.
He's going to jog off to the sideline.
Checking in from Upstate number 2, Isaiah Skinner.
Virginia Tech hasn't really created many high percentage shots either. A lot of these are step back mid-range jumpers. Young open for his second, but the whistle blows before that.
Yeah, an illegal foul. Illegal screen for the foul. I think they got Wessler on that.
Wessler's starting to get some more playing time for the Hokies. Jumped in sparingly last season.
Had a good opening night. If he could really help the Hokies, if he could be on the floor 10, 15 minutes.
Goes into the third row, stays with USC Upstate. The Spartans team, as Kendall mentioned, only had a few minutes returning this year. Almost a brand new roster. CJ Rich is the only guy that returned, and he didn't play that much last year. So for Marty Richter, he's got his work cut out for him, bringing in all these new names. And they have looked good so far tonight against the Hokies.
Braylon Garcia getting to the rim there. He's been hurt, hadn't played. This is his first action.
Garcia, the native of the Dominican Republic. Johnson trying to find someone open. Burnham drives in instead. Can't get the roll. Fighting for the rebound, and it's Spartans ball. Isaiah Skinner into the game for the Spartans. He's going to take a three. Got it. Nothing but net for Skinner.
Again, penetration anytime he goes in, or quick reversals. He's a catch and shoot guy at a San Jacinto.
16-0 run for the Spartans. Rechsteiner under the hoop finds Johnson, and he will go to the line.
Tyler Johnson has been a favorite of the coaches so far. A pleasant surprise for a freshman, ready to play physically, great hands. Nice pass right there. Johnson up through the traffic. I like him attacking the rim rather than settling for the jump shot like you talked about.
Johnson misses the free throw, starting out his college career 0 for 4 from the line. He went 0 for 3 a few nights ago against the Hornets. Here comes a new platoon of Hokies checking in, including the freshman from Northern Virginia, Ben Hammond.
Along with 3 of the starters along the front line.
Tyler Johnson ends the drought for the Hokies. A 16-0 run, now a 16-1 run. Swing down low, Skinner gets swatted by Lowell. Some of the energy that the Hokies need. Here comes Poteat to the glass.
Creating offense out of your defense.
Timeout called by Upstate. 16-5, Hokies with back-to-back buckets. Welcome back, everybody. Spartans leading this one 16-5 early on. Leading all scores, Carmelo Atkins has 8, the freshman, getting the start tonight in place of Kanye Jones, who was injured a few nights ago against Division III Piedmont. Bounce into Garcia, who's making his debut on the season. Trying to work in on Poteat, and the defense forcing him to travel.
That's 2 times Poteat has kind of walled up down on the block and forced a turnover.
Something that Coach Richter was talking about talking with his team in shoot around today. He said Virginia Tech is going to get her on a run. Don't panic. The run hasn't started yet, but you're starting to see a bit of the momentum shift the Hokies' way after a 16-0 run from the Spartans.
You talked about the NC State game. They had 4 2.5-minute stretches where they got outscored 45-2. Other than that, they were more than competitive with NC State.
Underhanded Johnson right to the square.
Really nice job of sharing the basketball. That's always been a trademark of Mike Young's offenses.
Elterhoff finds some help at the top of the key. There's Britt Harris. Harris from downtown. Rebound Mylyjael and tipped away to his freshman teammate in Hammond. Hammond from Paul VI High School, a basketball powerhouse in Alexandria. Turn around for Poteat. Rebound for the freshman. Johnson fights through it, and he's going to go to the line.
Good job again, attacking the rim with Poteat, and then the offensive rebound. That's how you climb back in this game.
Going to break again. 6-9 this young Spartans team, led by Carmelo Atkins and Mr. Dean. He's got 2 points, but he's really been able to show his prowess on the other side of the floor. He's got 2 steals and a block as well.
Carmelo Atkins making a little statement. I wasn't in the starting lineup, but I am now.
Tyler Johnson able to hit a free throw.
2 in a row now. He's got a streak going. He's got a good-looking shot. He should be a high-percentage free throw shooter.
Oh, filling the void left by Hunter Couture of a Hokie from Orlando. Tyler Johnson now filling in. And Hunter Couture playing overseas.
Hokie fans hope he has that kind of career.
And off to Gregory. Gregory lost the ball. Hokies under it.
Gregory beat Hammond off the dribble, but good help side for the Hokies. They get a turnover themselves.
Here comes Johnson. Boy, he's been aggressive since he's jumped into the game. Misses a layup that time. Chico Johnson, the transfer from Drake, followed Marty Richter. Johnson lets it fly.
Tyler Johnson went under that ball screen, got away with it that time.
Off of the screen, here comes Hammond. Point guard misses it, but the stick back follows.
Yeah, you see that a lot on penetration. Mylyjael's man had to come over and help on the shot, leaving Mylyjael there to free to get the offensive rebound.
9-0 run for Virginia Tech and another turnover forced. Here comes Shoot, feeding down to Tyler Johnson.
There's that quick timeout by Coach Richter.
So Virginia Tech answers with a run. Big dunk from the freshman.
Shooting percentages, force turnovers, get out of transition, run the floor, and get a wide open dunk.
Tyler Johnson is going to be a name to watch out for Virginia Tech, showcasing his athleticism. And that dunk there, he has sparked a bit of a Hokies run. Look at Johnson. Started out his college career with 8 points across 24 minutes. He's got 7 so far tonight, Mac. Now the Spartans got started out pretty hot. 16-0 run. Hokies now on an 11-0 run. Mr. Dean stripped away, got it back.
Defense has certainly turned up the intensity. I think Mike Young had a few things to say in the huddle.
And Shoot got a paw on it as well. Shot clock down to 4. Dean, air ball, and it won't matter anyway. It bounces across the baseline.
Yeah, and that's outstanding defense because you played the entire possession, never got out of position, and contested the shot and come away with the basketball.
Well, Hammond getting some reps here as point guard for the Hokies. That's going to be a question for Virginia Tech this year, the backcourt.
Yeah, particularly the point guard spot. You have Rechsteiner, who played very little last year. You have Hammond, who's just a freshman. So that spot is a little bit questionable. And of course, the offense kind of depends on that point guard keeping things under control and flowing.
Here's Shoot from the top of the key. Hokies have yet to hit a triple so far. And the ball will stay with Virginia Tech.
Wow, contested that offensive rebound off of USC Upstate. Hokies hang on to it. Mentioned the 11-0 run. Get back in this thing.
Here comes Shoot, pops from the elbow. Not a friendly bounce, but a foul called on Poteat.
Poteat takes up so much space in there. He gets some with some incidental contact.
13 foul on the half.
I think Helterhoff got a bit of that in the face there from Poteat.
Back in for the Hokies, 13.
We're talking about taking a look at it. Contact above the neck and shoulders.
Getting confirmation from the official Clarence Armstrong. And it does look like they're going to look at
The
it.
following play is under review for potential flagrant foul.
It looked incidental live. Let's take a closer look.
What do you think, Mac?
Yeah, just going for the ball, but he did raise his elbow. Well, you get a great look here. Good camera work, guys. I think he's just going for the ball. I think it's incidental and a common foul. My record on reviews this year is pretty good, about 4 out of 5. So
After review, the play stands as a common foul.
5 out of 6.
There you go. A bit more energy for this Hokies team after starting out so slow. 9 minutes left to go in this first half.
Still continuing to struggle from the floor. Only 26%, 5 for 19. Haven't made a 3 yet. I don't think Mike Young has ever had a team that wasn't a good three-point shooting team. Of course, last year the likes of Couture and Padula.
Look at Shoot.
That was a really nice play. Anticipated the back cut, got in the passing lane, and yet another turnover gives the Hokies an opportunity to cut it to 1 or tie.
Hammond slipped on the VT. Here comes Burnham.
Good defensive play, knocking the ball away.
Mr. Dean with a step in the finish.
There was no way he wasn't going all the way to the hole.
That was the first bucket for the Spartans in ages. Puts the lead back up to 5. Entry bounce into Lowell, and the Hokies are slipping on the floor here.
Number 12, Braylon Garcia, that's his first. 15 foul on the half against the Spartans.
Talked with the NC State staff after they played Upstate. And the first thing they said is those guys play really hard.
It started out with the game against the Wolfpack and the banner raising night down in Raleigh, and took on Piedmont at home on Wednesday, a Division III school. Here comes Shoot. Hokies still ice cold from 3. Shoot now is 0 for 3 from beyond the arc.
That was a pretty good look on the baseline out of bounds play. Good execution. Got to look at it.
Drive inside, Mr. Dean. Dean with a right hand, nothing but net.
Boy, is he going to be a good player. Just a freshman out of South Dade.
Dean 12 for 12 against Piedmont on Wednesday. Drive inside and Shoot is going to go to the line.
And I like that again. You know, Shoot's been struggling from the field, took it all the way to the rim, now gets to shoot free throws.
We're at the under 8 in Blacksburg. 7-point lead for the Spartans.
A fun night here in Castle Coliseum as we celebrate Military Appreciation Night in honor of Veterans Day weekend. It's always so fun to see the special military ties in sports, and our favorite one tonight is obviously Ben Hammond and his father, Maurice. Maurice served in the United States Army for 23 years, ultimately retiring as a lieutenant colonel. He's in attendance tonight to cheer on Ben and the Hokies, along with 351 members of the Virginia Tech Corps of Cadets. We would like to take a moment to say thank you to all of the brave men and women that serve in our military and for their commitment and sacrifice to protecting our country each and every day.
Great stuff, Kendall. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all of our military current and past duty that are watching this game tonight. Virginia Tech, you know, the Corps is here. They can get pretty rowdy. And I tell you what, this is a great atmosphere here tonight. Even though it's just the second game of the season, it's a packed house, folks.
Good Friday night crowd. And Mr. Hammond, I'm sure, proud of his son Ben getting a little extended stay, but an illegal screen, another turnover for Virginia Tech.
An interesting path to get to Virginia Tech for Ben Hammond. Originally committed to Rhode Island, then flipped to go to the Hokies. Now in an interesting spot as the season starts, where he's going to get a ton of reps as the point guard. Rechsteiner out, now on the floor for the Hokies. Spartan still up by 2 possessions. Sorry, man.
Couple young point guards under fire in real time.
Chico Johnson from the corner.
Wow. He'll take those open threes. He likes to drive it, but you see he's totally capable if you leave him any space at all.
Now the Drake transfer empties another 3 for the Spartans. Hokies down by 9.
He's not been able to establish Poteat down low either, and he does have a size advantage.
5 on the shot clock. Hokies need a shot up. Lowell, make it Johnson actually, and he's a bit too strong on the corner 3. So 9-point lead. Atkins trying to add on to it. He does.
And that's what he does, and he is doing it tonight.
Timeout called by Mike Young. 26-14, a 12-point lead for the Spartans team.
11 points for Atkins, getting that start due to the injury to Kanye Jones. And Atkins comes in looking to shoot the basketball. But here's it. After the miss late in the shot clock, that is a good look. This is in all the way. That's the look we had. We knew it was in the bottom.
Carmelo Atkins playing in only his 3rd collegiate game. And he's got 11 in the first half against an ACC team.
We talked about how ready freshmen are due to all the experience they get through AAU, travel ball, you know, better strength and conditioning, so much great coaching.
And that ends up working out for the Spartans, Mac, because the freshmen are ready. They really don't have another choice if you're USC Upstate with so many new faces you have to just throw out there with a first-year head coach Marty Richter. But they have looked strong tonight.
Yeah, and Coach Richter, he understands how to build a roster. When you're a junior college coach and you lose at least half your team every single year, that's what he has to do here in his first year at USC Upstate.
Tyler Johnson with the alley-oop.
I don't know if anybody's better than Mike Young at after timeout plays.
Lobbed it up to Lowell, and there's that athleticism on display for the Hokies.
We've seen the dunk, we've seen the block shot.
Gregory got hassled on the layup. Stick back can't fall. Virginia Tech pulls it down. Here comes Jaden Young.
The block again by Lowell.
Tyler Johnson spinning into the baseline. Poteat amidst 3 Spartans gets fouled.
Yeah, I'd like to see him really try to establish Poteat down there. Here's the out of bounds play. See the screen? Jaden Young with the screen, and Lowell says, thank you very much.
The bench getting a little bit more into it for Virginia Tech. It's been a slow night here in the first half.
You really need to cut into that lead between now and the halftime mark.
Poteat flushes his first of 2.
67% a year ago. He's going to get a lot of opportunities this year. Talked to him today about the leadership responsibilities. He said, I'm not sure I was ready for it, but he said, I am now.
Hokies trying to spark something with that leadership, athleticism, and experience in the final 5.5 minutes of the first half. It's been all Spartans. Garcia with a kick out to Johnson. Mello Atkins. Chico Johnson from throw length off the front of the rim.
Good defensive possession for the Hokies. See if they can cut back into this lead a little bit more on the offensive end.
Rechsteiner turns around and the roll goes for the sophomore point guard.
Create a little space, bump Gregory off of it.
Hokies were able to get back into the game by forcing turnovers. Can they do one here? Instead, it's Johnson. Not a good shot. And it's a foul that keeps it under the hoop on Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that was as good as a turnover, but the foul probably on Johnson on the backside blocking out, or was it on Mylyjael?
Checking in for the Spartans, back in for the Hokies, 13.
Looks like it is on Mylyjael. So for Mylyjael, that's his second. Gregory forces a pass into Garcia. Lost the ball, corralled by Rechsteiner.
Good job by not fouling right there. Still using that body by Poteat.
Rechsteiner, open three. Hokies find their first triple. Bring it down to a one-possession game with 4:15 left to go in the first half.
Nice play in transition.
Garcia fouled on his way to the hoop. He'll go to the line.
Little brush screen by Poteat. Got Rechsteiner wide open. We talked about his improved shooting.
Coming at the right time for Virginia Tech. Hokies had missed their first 7 three-pointers. Garcia hits his first free throw.
Junior college transfer out of Daytona State. Getting his first action of the year.
Good amount of JUCO transfers on this roster. Carmani Gregory, another one for Marty Richter in his first season. And back up to a 5-point lead.
USC Upstate, very similar to the other night against NC State, where they went on long runs. Upstate fought back, and we're seeing runs by both these teams here tonight.
A little over 4 minutes left to go. Burnham still looking for his first points tonight. Kick it out, Rechsteiner. It's a screen. Rechsteiner feeds Poteat.
Ball screen and roll. One of the oldest plays in the book. Still works, doesn't it?
Seemed like it did for Poteat. If the Hokies can get a few more of those, they could have the lead going into the halftime intermission. Here comes Skinner, though, trying to change that. Britt Harris. Shot clock down to 7. Make it 4 seconds now. Harris up for 2. Good rebound by Poteat.
Had a really good defensive possession.
Hokies trying to spark something defensively onto the offense with Jaden Young. Another 3 ball for the Hokies, and the game is tied. Energy back for Virginia Tech on defense. Poteat got a finger on the ball. It goes into the backcourt. Helterhoff. Too much on that pass. Another turnover.
Good help.
Brings us to a break. We got a tie ball game here in Blacksburg.
The sophomore Jaden Young is known to be a great shooter. You're seeing it right there as he gets the Hokies back even in this game. Hokie defense is the reason they're catching up in this game. Watch the Hokies in those positions. Watch when they move with the basketball. And we're going to see a ball screen and a great hedge right here. Right there, a hedge. Help on the roller. Everybody cuts their man off, stops penetration, and they end up with a contested shot and a defensive rebound. One of the best possessions defensively. Here we go, contested shot. Finish the play with the rebound by Poteat.
Now a chance for Virginia Tech to take its first lead since 2-0, just seconds into the ball game. Swing it around to shoot. 10 on the clock for Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner, contested ball, tipped out of play, and it stays with the Hokies. Didn't hit the rim, so Virginia Tech's going to have a limited shot clock here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the shot that Coach Young was looking for. And it goes the other way.
Hokies don't seem to argue it, so it stays 28-28.
Hokies have climbed back into this thing, but both teams would like to finish the half.
Largest lead for USC Upstate, 14. It was 16-2. Mid-range gets the roll from Daniel Helterhoff, who got the start today. Lead back for the Spartans. Rechsteiner thought about the three. Off the screen, he gets it this time. Rechsteiner is starting to heat up. Hokies with their first lead since the first bucket of the ball game. Stays with the Spartans.
You see coming off the ball screen, they weren't really alert. Rechsteiner's starting to feel it.
Virginia Tech back into this game thanks to the threes. Hokies started out 0 for 7. Now have hit last 3 of 4. Stays with the Spartans here. Clarence Armstrong trying to get confirmation right on the clock.
Clarence Armstrong, Ryan Sassano, Chase Shaw, son of the legendary official Curtis Shaw. We get a lot of official sons working these games.
Does it make you feel old?
It does. And you know what?
I'm sorry I asked that question because I knew what the answer was going to be. Swing down low and the block from Big Pat Wessler. Upstate kept it for a moment. Here comes Virginia Tech in transition. Foul called on Skinner.
What a big block by Wessler. Because he was going in for a wide open look. Here comes Wessler and says, no, sir.
7-footer from North Carolina. Matthews, North Carolina, that is. And the defensive effort to pick it away by Jaden Shute.
Matthews right outside Charlotte.
Front end of the 1-and-1 falls.
The Virginia Tech women will be in Charlotte on Sunday to take on Iowa.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game.
Big doubleheader. South Carolina and NC State in the other half. College basketball heating up in a hurry right in the middle of football season.
Wow. Here comes Jaden Young. Ben Burnham got the ball back for a moment. Look at the effort from Jaden Shute. Whistle blows, it stays with Virginia Tech. The effort from Jaden Shute. Now, Mac, he's been a bit cold offensively from the field, but for Jaden Shute on the defensive end, and then you see those aggressive plays like that, he's been able to get the Hokies back into it.
Yeah, despite the shot not going in, he has not let that affect his effort at all. Sometimes when your shot goes in, defense and hustle kind of take a back seat, but not with Mr. Shute.
Minute left to play here in this first half. Hokies trail by as much as 14, now lead by 2. Jaden Shoot wide open. This time he drains it.
What a great play. A real continuous play with multiple ball reversals. Really well done. Again, after a dead ball, Mike Young, as good as anybody.
Armani Gregory able to find a little bit of space.
Not much space at all. Crowd going crazy. Hokies on a roll, and Gregory says, I've got this.
Shot clock now off for Virginia Tech. Rechsteiner pressured in midcourt by Armani Gregory, the redshirt sophomore. And the offense moves into action with 10 seconds. Rechsteiner drive inside, finds Shoot, step back long two. Great shot to end the first half for Virginia Tech. 37-32. Hokies started out slow, but the spark started to ignite there at the end.
Who are those guys that finished the half? That's not the same bunch that started.
37-32. It was 16-2 at one point, and now Virginia Tech
Played with a lot of confidence and led the Hokies with 10 points.
underway in the second half, a two-possession ball game. Here comes Mr. Dean. As Dean drove in, he double-dribbled to give the Hokies the ball back.
And just the opposite, USC Upstate, at one time, turnovers were 5-5, and Upstate really turned the basketball over later in the half. They ended up with 11.
Right now, the Hokies only with 6 turnovers. So, game started out with a 16-0 run after trailing 2-0. Ball gets swatted out of bounds. Hokies started out 0 for 7 from beyond the arc, and now 4 of 12 from three-point land.
Yeah, 9-2 run to end the half and an 11-0 run earlier to get back in it.
Leading scorer for Virginia Tech, Brandon Rechsteiner's got 10. Wow was the intended target of that pass, but really a foul to keep it on the Virginia Tech side of the court here.
Yeah, Hokies had a while open, but Upstate got a hand on that pass out of Jaden Youngs.
First team foul on the half against the Spartans.
Mr. Dean, most athletic player on the Spartans roster. He's been a bit quiet on the scoring end after a couple of big buckets early. There's Poteat. Great offensive play drawn up by the Hokies there, and it finishes now with a 7-point lead, largest lead for Virginia Tech.
Another good pass by Shoot.
Drive in, a foul called. It will go on Poteat.
Yeah, and the contact was initiated by Dean, and he's really good at that. That's how he started the game, being very aggressive offensively. Starts the second half the same way on their second possession.
Mr. Dean to the line, first of 2.
Only got to play 12 minutes in that first half due to picking up 2 fouls. He's got to stay on the floor for them to have a chance to win this basketball game.
Yeah, Mac, he's a really energetic guard. 12 for 12 against Division III Piedmont. He's got a couple of misses tonight. But if the Spartans are able to pull off an upset here in Blacksburg, Mr. Dean's going to play a huge part of that.
See him leading scorer both nights.
Jaden Shoot, another mid-range. Wow, with the dunk.
He's just so explosive. If there's a sliver of opening to the basket, he can get there.
Sort of a quiet night for Lowell, but you take a look at the score, the box score at least, 6 points, 6 rebounds for the junior from London, England. Hasn't played organized basketball for very long, just 3 years before coming to VCU.
Yeah, big-time soccer player.
So blows, it's foul on Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and I think it was Lowell. I think it was Poteat again. That screen action.
It's booked on Brandon Rechsteiner, actually.
Oh, it's Rechsteiner.
So his first team second.
That's good news for Virginia Tech.
Right. Poteat already has 2 for the Hokies. That would have been his 3rd. Wow, what a play. Perfect feed into Dean.
Yeah, we talked about the baseline out of bounds and special situations for Mike Young. Coach Richter said, watch this one.
Coach Richter's got a lot of energy himself, and this team has taken on that part of his personality. Staying in this one against Virginia Tech on their home floor. Poteat with the and one, though, to stifle a bit of that energy.
Such an important guy in this offense. And like I said early in the contest, I think he's the most important player for Virginia Tech on both ends of the floor. Really nice job playing through the contact right there.
Lone returning starter for Virginia Tech.
Pelter Hoff, Cologne, Germany.
He gets the rebound.
He's been in foul trouble both of the first two contests, but a talented big guy.
Nick Gregory thought about the long three, instead tries his luck inside, whistle blows. Bucket doesn't fall, but Gregory's going to get 2 shots.
Yeah, Rechsteiner, he didn't really foul him right at the end, but he got him on the drive. Gregory is tough to stay in front of. Very quick. You mentioned he was at Florida Southwestern, where Coach Richter coached a while back.
Dipping into that JUCO transfer portal, or going into the junior college route to fill some of this roster for Marty Richter. When we talked about the fact that his team was one of the very few teams that had almost no returning minutes, Coach Richter wore that as a badge of honor, man.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the junior college experience allowed him to understand how to build a roster with very few minutes returning. 6th fewest minutes returning in the country.
9 minutes and 44 seconds, all by C.J. Rich, who we have not seen tonight.
Look at those names on that, with no minutes coming back. Starting with Louisville in the ACC.
That'll be interesting. Rechsteiner misses the layup. Hokies aren't top 6, but Virginia Tech doesn't have a ton of minutes returning either.
You lose all 5 starters, 7 of your top 8 scorers.
Just got the rankings from our crew here. Hokies are 40th amongst over 300 teams and fewest returning minutes.
And even the returnees, not a lot of minutes out of them, and they're all in different roles than they were a year ago. Rechsteiner in the starting lineup, Young in the starting lineup, Poteat, the featured guy down low instead of Lynn Kidd. All with new things to do.
Mylyjael Garcia dribbles the ball off of Mylyjael for the Hokies, stays with the Spartans. Take a look at this Hokies roster breakdown. 9 newcomers for Virginia Tech, 4 of them freshmen. Another foul.
And that we talked about that toward the beginning of the game. They always play downhill. They keep attacking, and they've shot a lot of free throws already this season.
Virginia Tech has shot 11. This will be the 8th free throw of the night for USC Upstate. And Carmelo Atkins, the freshman, it rattles out for him. And the crowd chanting bacon, even if that was offered tonight. They will not get any free Smithfield bacon as Atkins hits the 2nd free throw.
A little shuffle cut, screen to screener.
Shoot, the pass goes offline. Mylyjael able to find it with 10 seconds on the shot clock now. Here's the freshman point guard. Finding Jaden Young, needs to let it fly, and connects.
It's a nice play. Young doesn't do a lot off the dribble, but that time he created some space for the jumper.
9-point lead now for Virginia Tech. Chico Johnson Well, he is not scared to chuck one up.
Yeah, he's out there in Caitlin Clark territory.
Jaden Young trying to get hot here. Can't get the roll. Poteat offensive board. There are 3 Spartans down there. Doesn't matter to Mylyjael Poteat.
Credit that one to David Jackson, the strength and conditioning coach. Weight room right there.
Meanwhile, a whistle, and the freshman Ben Hammond not excited about that foul. But Hokies enjoying an 11-point lead.
With the shot clock running down. Create a little space.
From South Florida, Mr. Dean has shined for the Spartans.
He's really good. We talk about how aggressive he is. Mr. Dean with the dunk.
I think Mr. Dean's going to be one of those names to remember, not only if you're watching Big South basketball, but just the fact he's got one of the coolest names in all of college basketball. So let's take a look at our top 5 Misters ever. And I think, Mac, this one is a little bit biased to you because you coached against Keith Mr. Jennings.
Yes, I did, from Culpeper, Virginia. He was a great one, but some wonderful Misters right here.
I think that Mr. Potato Head, all due respect to Mr. T, I think Mr. T falls a little bit. I think Mr. Potato Head's got to go in 3 there.
He could even bump out Mr. Rogers, although Mr. Rogers is very nice.
I'm pretty sure that Mr. Potato Head gets write-in votes to be president in the state of Idaho every year. So he's got to be top 3. Here comes Ben Hammond. 9-point lead for Virginia Tech. Jaden Shoot passes out to Young. Poteat swats it into the backcourt. Carmelo Atkins wide open.
Good hustle. We talked about Upstate wanting to get down the floor quickly. That time it paid off. Chasing the loose ball all the way to a 2-pointer.
Shot clock rolling down. Poteat spins. I'll tell you what, Mac, the Spartans defense has been draped over Poteat tonight.
Yeah, they've really made it hard for him, and he's a lot bigger than some of the folks they're going to see in the Big South, although the Big South is an outstanding league. But I still think the Hokies really need to pound that ball to Poteat when they get the opportunity, and he has delivered down low.
This is a free throw. Virginia Tech struggled a bit from the line tonight.
12 points, 4 rebounds. Yeah, the Hokies have left some points on the 5 for 14 now.
Poteat on his second try. It's good.
Checking back in for the Hokies 13, Ben Burnham.
Ben Burnham into the game. Ben Burnham trying to get onto the score sheet for Virginia Tech. Had a bit of a tough game against Delaware State. Went 0 for 3 from the field. Trying to hit his first field goal in a Virginia Tech uniform. And he certainly has the capability to shine for the Hokies this season.
He's a talented player. He just really hadn't gotten comfortable in the offense yet.
Monty Gregory lost the ball. Jaden Shoot outnumbered. It doesn't matter.
I thought you were going with it doesn't go, but it doesn't matter.
That's saved by the rim there, but Carmani Gregory didn't need any bit of the iron on that. A 3 goes down to make it a 7-point game.
He has made some big shots. You love it when your point guard has the confidence to knock a long one down.
That was the freshman. Hammond misses. Poteat wrestles away a board and right to the hoop.
Love his game. Love the fact that he's come back for his final year in the best shape of his life.
Garcia. Hokies want to charge. Instead, it's a block. Virginia Tech fans not loving that. Before that play, look at what Shoot did.
And it sits there, it literally stopped. And then rolled in for the Hokies. This ought to be awesome right here. It just stops.
Another look at this foul.
Yeah, inside the arc.
3, Jaden Young, and 5.
Bang, bang play. Shoot, frustrated. He hasn't scored a lot, but he has played well tonight, defensively and offensively.
Does have a couple of steals for the Hokies, but now 3 personal fouls for the Duke transfer.
Wessler had a big block in that first half. Let's see if he can contribute coming off the bench.
Here comes Wessler. Double teaming the Hokies big men. Jaden Young went to the hoop, lost the ball, and now 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
Colin Johnson in the game. He gave the Hokies a little lift when he came in the first half, Bailey.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson adding the energy for the Hokies, not scared to drive to the hoop. Hokies got to get the ball in. Here's Wessler, draws a foul. Not a good play for the Spartans.
No, Hokies were in a bad situation. They were going to throw it to a 7-footer with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Chances of getting a good shot out of that were not too good, but bailed out by the foul on Garcia.
Comes Chico Johnson. Johnson's taken 5 threes in this game. He's 1 for 5 from beyond the arc. So he can get something done on defense now, though. Hokies with a fresh shot clock that was trickling inside of 4 seconds. Now make it 20 with Brandon Rechsteiner at the 1. Rechsteiner off a screen. Don't let him get open. Brandon Rechsteiner with 13.
Dead ball. Mike Young can call the play. That's what you get, a good look.
Kick ball stays with Upstate.
Wessler credit for a screen right there. Getting Rechsteiner enough space to knock that shot down.
So with that bucket, Rechsteiner now has a career high. Off of the bounce, and it goes with a junior from Germany.
He talked about how skilled he was. He didn't take a lot of them, but he shot 61% from the three-point line.
I feel like we've just introduced everybody as a transfer. I'm going to do it again here, Mac. The transfer from Our Lady of the Lake, an NAIA school. That's where Helterhoff came from before he joined USC Upstate. Isaiah Skinner from the corner. Bit too hard. Rebound Young.
Sure, Mike Young would love to get a little separation going right here.
Lob it up for Wessler. No good. Rebound for the sophomore point guard.
Yeah, Wessler got fouled right there. But the Hokies got it back.
Looking for a pick and roll. Doesn't happen. This time Young, though. Jaden Young got open for the 3, and the sophomore launches and connects.
It's a really good play. Penetrate a little bit by Rechsteiner, filled behind by Young.
Jaden Young coming off of a career-high night against Delaware State. He had 13, so far 9 tonight against the Spartans. Good feed to the corner, another 3 on the way. Got a friendly bounce for USC Upstate.
Got a chance to stretch this lead into double figures.
Brandon Rechsteiner creates some space, and the Georgia native carved up the Spartans.
Rechsteiner, you can see the confidence growing in him.
Tech ball. Brings us to a timeout. Virginia Tech up by double digits. Brandon Rechsteiner, the sophomore, leading the way for the Hokies. He's got 15.
To have some younger players step up, and there's no doubt sophomore Brandon Rechsteiner is one of those players. He's a natural athlete who Coach Mike Young says is probably the best shooter on the team. Brandon comes from quite the family of athletes. His dad is Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, and his brother Brock is a wide receiver for the Jacksonville State football team. Talk about some discipline he's learned growing up in a family of athletes. Brandon wakes up at 4:50 a.m. almost every single day. Guys, I don't know about you, but I certainly don't know a lot of 19 and 20-year-olds that wake up at that hour.
No, not at all. Talk about a great picture with the old WCW World Champion belt that Brandon Rechsteiner had on in that. Were you more of a WWE or a WCW guy?
I have attended those events.
Yeah.
But to say I was a fan might be a stretch.
Okay, gotcha. Monday Night Raw in the Richmond Coliseum in the late 2000s was maybe one of the most electric sporting events. We'll call it, you know what, I'll call it sporting, that I've ever attended.
Wow.
Yeah. Randy Orton with the RKO of Bobby Lashley as the credits roll. There we go. 63-50, Hokies up by 13.
We talked about Kanye Jones not playing. Nick Book has not entered the game either. Saw him getting treatment earlier today, but I was expecting him to play. As Brett Harris knocks down a three.
That's 8 threes for USC Upstate. This is a team that has continued to hang around against Virginia Tech. Lowell, sort of a quiet night, but now has 8 points for the Hokies to go along with 7 rebounds.
And that was a good play defensively by Mr. Dean, and a little better play by Lowell to get that ball over the front rim.
Defense turning it up a notch for Virginia Tech. Tyler Johnson matched up with Britt Harris. Dean now. Shot clock running down. Got a piece of that on the long three. And, well, I guess the referees say that it's just a straight-up air ball, and the Hokie fans agree.
Harris had just made one from long range. Got a pretty good look at it, but inconsistent for the Grand Valley State transfer.
He's settling in on offense. Jaden Young trying to get double figures. He drives in and he's fouled. And it'll be a 1-and-1 for the sophomore from North Carolina.
It's in a 1-and-1 pretty early. Got to take advantage of that. Press the issue a little bit, drive it, go strong to the rim.
Jaden Young going to the stripe for the Hokies. First trip of the night, and he's able to hit the first of a 1-and-1.
Didn't miss a free throw last year, only got to the line 6 times.
Hokies in that opening game against Delaware State, Virginia Tech went to the line over 30 times. So far tonight, it's been on the end of 17 free throws. Another drive in, Gregory switching hands on his way to the hoop.
It seems like when they need that big basket, he's the guy.
Brandon Rechsteiner's been that guy for the Hokies tonight, though. Gregory now. Chico Johnson feeds to Garcia, lost the handle. Poteat and Virginia Tech ball.
They have numbers, see if they push the issue.
Tyler Johnson trying to do just that and draws a foul.
Yeah. He goes to the free throw line like we talked about, attack, attack.
Adding some height for the Hokies at guard, a freshman at 6'5". We've seen him glide to the hoop a few times here in these first 2 games.
Coaches have really liked his fall effort. Just came in ready to play physically, emotionally, great hands, catches the ball in a crowd, good passer, unselfish, good work ethic, very coachable.
Could be a Hokie name to watch out for years to come. The freshman from Orlando, ready to go with his second shot from the charity stripe and hits both in a 1-and-1.
Great school, Oak Ridge High in Orlando. They've produced a lot of great athletes.
Gregory pressured on defense by Rechsteiner. Look at Johnson now on Carmelo Atkins. It seems like the defense for the Hokies has been a bit more fierce here in the second half, Mac, even with that shot falling. What exactly is Virginia Tech doing here?
No, they just turned the pressure up in terms of intensity. They're staying in a stance, they're communicating, switching. That time the switch was a little passive, if you will. The wall needed to come at the guy that he switched on.
Tyler Johnson now into double figures. Another bucket falls and a timeout. Hokies 73-59, up by 14. Just a little over 8 minutes to go here in the Castle. 14. Kind of stuttered a bit in the first half, but picked it up thanks to the three starting to fall from the Hokies. After going 0 for 7 to start from beyond the arc, Virginia Tech is now 7 of 17.
It's been an entertaining game. A lot of big-time plays and the runs that we've talked about. Virginia Tech already has as many points in the second half with 8 minutes to go as they had in the whole first half. So, yes, they have picked the pace up.
And some solid efforts out of Mylyjael Poteat and Brandon Rechsteiner. And Young gets blocked. Not sure if that actually might have hit his hand. Here comes Carmelo Atkins, but a block will not count. It'll be a foul, and Ben Burnham is shaken up. Brings us to a break. 73-59 as Burnham's back up on his feet.
As that foul's on.
Welcome back, everybody. 73-59. While we were in the break, we were subject to a review by the officials, and they're going to announce it here. It's going to be upgraded to a flagrant 1 on Ben Burnham on the block attempt. They said it was too high a risk of injury play. Mac, what do you think?
I disagree. And the other thing they said was from behind. Well, I don't know what else he could have done that. I think he made a legitimate play on the ball. The officials do a great job. They get more of them right than wrong for sure. And I've been known to disagree with an official as a coach, but I think he made
the following play has been upgraded to an F1.
I think he made a legitimate play on the ball, in my opinion.
Well, and flagrant 1. A little longer review as well, so a couple of shots coming for Carmelo Atkins. And he missed it. Take a look here. A flagrant 1 is something that was excessive or unnecessary, not a legitimate play on the ball or a hold or a push from behind. So I guess the top one.
Everything there is subjective.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that ends up being a big play in this game, but at least it looked like from here, and it's a definite foul. Nobody's saying it's not a foul, but a flagrant 1 seems to be a bit of a stretch. But they did review it, and Clarence Armstrong and crew came to that conclusion. Mr. Dean, bit too short. Tyler Johnson got the rebound and snatched it away from Atkins.
Nice job defensively by Wow, walling up in there. contesting the shot. Hokies with a chance to stretch that lead. Good defense by USC Upstate. Hokies are probing hard, moving the basketball from side to side. There's the double team in the post. That's going to leave somebody wide open.
Shot clock running down, and the freshman tickles the twine before the buzzer sounds.
When they double teamed Poteat and he got the ball out, USC Upstate was in harm's way as far as getting a stop on that possession.
15-point lead for Virginia Tech. Hokies had led by as much as 16, but USC Upstate keeping Virginia Tech honest. Final 7 minutes of this game.
I really like Carmani Gregory. Anytime they need an answer, he seems to have one.
He's slowing it down. Johnson thought about the pass. Instead, takes it to the hoop with the left hand, and it's going to count.
Yeah, he wasn't completely committed to the shot right there, but he still got it to go and drew the foul. On the curl cut, he's thinking about passing. He said, no, I'll lay it up. Worked out well.
Meanwhile, Atkins fell on him after the play. We talked about that first game, who's been the most impressive. It was undoubtedly Toby Lawal for Virginia Tech against Delaware State. You can make a case now. Tyler Johnson going for 14 points here with his free throw, and he does get it. He's been really impressive for the Hokies off of the bench.
Yeah, and I think this is how the Hokies are going to have to play. You've already got Poteat with 17, Young with 17, Rechsteiner with 17, Tyler Johnson now with the 14, but you also have Lawal with 8 and Shoot with 9. They could have 6 guys in double figures. I think that's what Virginia Tech basketball, when they're playing well, is going to look like this season.
Hokies team that's still learning about itself. We started off the broadcast that we're learning as broadcasters, fans are learning about this team, but this Virginia Tech roster is also learning how to play together.
And I think college basketball is going to be a little bit like football. Very unpredictable. You're going to see good performances followed by not so good performances. I think you're going to see a lot of inconsistency and chaos, just like you're seeing in the college football season.
I wouldn't have it any other way. That chaos is what makes it fun, right?
Well, as long as you're on the good side of chaos. Makes it fun for us. Fans? I don't know.
Yeah. Lawal. He's a guy that can shoot the 3 for the Hokies. Gregory. Short bunny misses.
Lawal being able to shoot the 3 really is a big deal, because if you've got to come running at him and he can put the ball on the floor, he can be really dangerous. And another illegal screen. We've seen about 4 of those tonight for Virginia Tech.
Goes on Mylyjael Poteat.
And that could be on the screener, or it could be on the ball handler for making his move before the screener gets set.
Poteat now with 3 fouls. Time starting to run out for the Spartans. Carmani Gregory didn't spark the comeback yet there. Lawal pulls down the board. Look at the moonshot lob inside Poteat. The draw the foul.
Helter off with the hold right there. The ball went over his head. Good pass by Rechsteiner, giving him a chance.
Third foul on Daniel Helterhoff. Poteat's going to shoot 2.
He's 4 for 7 from the free throw line in the first game. And 5 for 7 so far tonight. Or does that make it 6 for 8?
Yeah, 6 for 8.
It'll be big. He's going to be in the middle of a lot of contact down there all season.
And now a career high from Mylyjael Poteat, 19 points. The Hokies are going to pull some wins away in the ACC. They're going to need a lot out of Mylyjael Poteat, and he knows that. Helterhoff working on Poteat, spins around and finds the bucket.
Very nice move. Took his time, gained a little bit of an advantage, used his body to protect the basketball.
Rechsteiner drawing 2 defenders. Mylyjael down the baseline. Wanted the rim rocker instead. Young man from England's going to go to the line.
You know, we talked about Upstate being picked last in the Big South. This is not a last place team, I can tell you that. And they were picked last legitimately because they had all newcomers, basically. We talked about they returned 9 minutes played for Upstate in that program. So, yeah, it was hard to judge. But again, like college football with the transfer portal and all, it's going to be really tough to predict these things. But if this is the last place team in the Big South, the Big South is really, really loaded.
And USC Upstate has really challenged itself with head coach Marty Richter in his first season with a crazy schedule to start it out. 3 ACC teams in the first 4 games. So that first game at home was against a Division III team, but started it out with NC State coming off of a crazy year for the Wolfpack, then Wake Forest, and then 2 games after that against Iowa and South Carolina.
Yeah, those are all postseason teams right there, and they're going to go on the road to play all of them.
Rechsteiner curling under the hoop. Did he step out of bounds? Won't matter. It's a foul called on the Spartans, as this game has started to regress into drive inside, foul drawn, and that is 4 on Helterhoff.
We talked about the Hokies when they got in the 1-and-1 with almost 10 minutes to play, that they were going to be going to the free throw line, and that has been the story down the stretch.
Well, we have 2 different stories, first half, second half for sure. Virginia Tech trailed by as much as 14. Hokies stormed back. Now have added on to this 18-point lead, now at 19 for the free throw from Brandon Rechsteiner.
Yeah, when people see this score tomorrow morning, they're going to think blowout city. That doesn't tell the story of this basketball game.
An exhale from Coach Mike Young as this team started to speed it up in the second half defensively. Got some quality trips to the free throw line, and now a 20-point lead for Virginia Tech. Look at the speed from Garcia, who's already got 4 fouls, by the way. That almost was a charge. Mr. Dean. Well, I think of so many players that Virginia Tech is going to watch in this non-conference season. Many Hokie fans are going to remember that young man's name.
So impressive. We can't talk enough about how good this youngster is.
Jaden Young lets one fly. One arm pass to Atkins.
Atkins got off such a great start tonight.
Armani Gregory tipped out to shoot. Three minutes left in this game. Brandon Rechsteiner pops, misses, Burnham with a rebound, and the Charleston transfer will take a trip to the line. But first, going to break. Hokies up big, 84-67, closing moments of this game.
Points, 5 rebounds, but only 8 field goal attempts to get those 19 points. And he has played through contact, and of course it doesn't hurt that he's gotten to the free throw line 9 times and made 7.
Career high 19 points for the Hokies big man, the grad student from North Carolina. Take a look at this, the production there. Brandon Rechsteiner, another name that really pops out on the stat sheet with 19 points. That's a guy that's going to need to produce a lot for Virginia Tech. I probably went into this season thinking he was going to be the second option potentially at point guard for the Hokies, and now he's running the ship, and he's looked good tonight.
Yeah, he has, and I don't know that he has to be a leading scorer every night, but he has to be a threat to be a leading scorer. And if he can be a threat and they've got to treat him like that, that's going to open up a lot of options for his teammates.
Ben Burnham looking for his first points tonight. Gets it there.
I think you'll see this guy just get better and better. He has struggled so far, like I said. I just think he's not totally comfortable in the offense yet. But he's learning, and he'll continue to play hard.
Hokies have jumped up to a big lead, partly in thanks to the fact that the Spartans got into foul trouble here in the second half. Braylon Garcia has now fouled out, and then there are 2 Spartans in foul trouble with 4 apiece. Meanwhile, an and 1 for Carmelo Atkins.
And the other thing you pointed out during the break was 16 points off 16 turnovers for Virginia Tech. And the Hokies, on the other hand, have only had 2 turnovers in the last almost 18 minutes. They've only had 2 turnovers.
16.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
28 minutes.
Wow.
2 turnovers.
Virginia Tech has mopped it up, which is a great sign for many Hokie fans watching this broadcast. Unfortunately, if you talk about Big South opponents that might give Tech some trouble, USC Upstate gave some to Virginia Tech tonight. Winthrop is going to be better on Monday.
Yeah, High Point is really, really good. They're head and shoulders the favorite, but Winthrop is really good. Got 2 all-conference players back. Coach Prosser's done a really good job. They were picked second and got some first place votes in the preseason poll.
Skinner has now fouled out, so 2 players that have accumulated 5 fouls for the Spartans. Hayden Shoot misses his first one. Wessler and Tyler Johnson running in for the Hokies. Jaden Shoot, really an interesting name to watch out for the Hokies. Started out his career at Duke. He was Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Illinois. Grew up not too far out of Chicago. Didn't get the playing time that he wanted at Duke. And this is a Virginia Tech roster that will welcome him with open arms.
Yeah, he's going to have some big nights.
It's tipped in.
Mr. Dean. Who else?
Mr. Dean now with 16. Carmelo Atkins with 20.
A little different game than Mr. Jennings.
I'm going to have to do some research on Mr. Jennings. I thought I knew ball, Mac, but I had not heard of Mr. Jennings. And between you and our producer, Evan Ellis, I got to look up some ETSU Buccaneer basketball.
Yeah, and he's coaching now, the women's coach at Lee's McRae in Banner Elk, North Carolina.
Cross-court lob. Mr. Dean launches. Johnson crashes the boards.
Ben Hammond getting some quality time tonight, too.
Jaden Young. Jaden Young, a sharpshooter in the making for the Hokies.
Streaking now 4 of 8, 4 of 9 from three-point land.
Been around, no good. Ball almost kissed the ceiling, swatted up. Virginia Tech ball with a minute left.
1 minute to play. 1 minute to play.
Hammond staying with that aggressive ball handling, even with the minute starting to close down for the Hokies. Timeout called by Marty Richter.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with that. One thing he is going to get out of this team, like I told you the other day when I talked to the NC State staff, they said those guys played hard no matter what was going on. And I don't think he thought that has happened the last couple possessions here.
Well, Marty Richter, it was enlightening and really encouraging to see for Coach Richter, who inherits this team, brings in a bunch of guys that have not even played a ton of Division I college basketball before, between the JUCO level and a couple guys from Division II. He still has such high expectations of this roster that he has.
Well, he's been around good basketball coaches and good basketball teams.
Well, look at the upcoming schedule at Wake Forest and UNC Wilmington at home. Could be pretty interesting moving forward. And we talked about some of the other teams they face on the road between Iowa as well as South Carolina.
Yeah, The schedule doesn't get easier. We talked about the 5 Power 4 teams they got, but Wake, UNCW, ETSU is picked high in their league. UNCW is picked high in the CAA. It won't be an easy stretch, but I tell you what, Coach Richter, like you said, he's very optimistic, and you can see why. He's got some players on this basketball team. None better than Mr. Dean.
93-72. Let me say Mr. Dean's going to add all that athleticism, but I think that Marty Richter, if there is something to be encouraged about with tonight, Carmelo Atkins came into a hostile environment, an ACC Power 4 environment, and he came in and scored 20 points. You got a lot out of your freshman there.
Yeah, he really did, and came in right away. First chance he got, and scored a lot of points right away. Really played solidly. And you got a nice mix of some veteran guys, some guys that played at 4-year schools, some junior college players, and some freshmen, and all of them have contributed to some degree tonight.
Well, speaking of spreading the contribution around, Virginia Tech has 6 players in double figures. Down low, under the basket, Mr. Dean turns around. Good defense there, but the shot able to fall for Dean.
He just stays after it. Got his shot blocked, got it back, went up, put it in the basket through contact.
Connor Servin and Ryan Jones Jr. both into the ball game for the Hokies. Jones scored a couple of jumpers against Delaware State a few nights ago. Also, Rodney Brown Jr. is into the game, the transfer from Cal.
Mr. Dean now with 18 points, averaging almost 20 coming into tonight. Stayed right on his average.
Well, the Hokies, after a slow start in this game, mop it up in the second half and will win this one 93-74 to improve to 2-0 on the year.
Yeah, we talked in the pregame about the fact that we were going to learn a lot, and they were